Hey everyone, Chris Bayless here from the Sponsorship Collective. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what the game of baseball can teach us about how to sell sponsorship. Check it out. All right, everyone, before we dive into today's video, do me a favor and hit the like button and the subscribe button, as well as the bell icon. It means a lot, and it tells me that you want me to keep making videos like this. Full disclosure, I'm not a baseball fan. Many of you already know by the way I speak that I am a Canadian, and therefore, hockey is in my blood. However, I know enough about baseball to use it as an analogy to help you take some of the pressure off in your sponsorship program. And I'm gonna be completely honest, pretty much everything I know about baseball is from my American friend Ernest and the movie Moneyball. Spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about the movie Moneyball, but I think it's been out long enough that you've already seen it if you plan to. The main premise in Moneyball, as they're trying to build a winning team, is that the idea of looking for home run hitters is a bad idea, even though it was the common thinking at the time. Instead, the argument and strategy is put forward that what you really want to do is look for base hitters. If every one of your players gets on base, then simple mathematics means once you've filled the bases, you will start to have people cross home plate. Frankly, anything that doesn't involve a hockey puck and ice, I find very confusing, but this concept I get. What made me think about this analogy was actually during a coaching call with our clients inside the Sponsorship Accelerator. People were getting discouraged because they weren't having one-call closes. They weren't picking up the phone, calling a sponsor they'd never spoken to before, and closing them on the spot. And many of these people are seasoned sponsorship professionals, so they know better. And yet we put this pressure on ourselves incorrectly. In the sponsorship game, just like in the movie Moneyball, you actually don't want to be a home run hitter. Home run hitters strike out most of the time. Home run hitters do not hit home runs most of the time. Consistent players who get on base every time at bat are your best bet. Believe me, nothing is more exciting than a one-call close with a prospect. But if you expect yourself to do this, you set up a situation where every call you make, you believe that you have failed. But in reality, you may have closed that sponsor. You just won't know for 4 more months because you're measuring the wrong things. So how do we set up our sponsorship program to be more like the Moneyball strategy? You have to measure your base hits. Once you've identified your audience, once you understand what you have to offer, once you have done your prospect research to identify companies who are interested in your audience, then you're ready to step up to the plate. What is the first thing you should be measuring? Whether or not you get any reply at all from an email you send to a prospect. That's the only thing you care about when you reach out to a prospect for the first time. Any reply at all. Then the next thing you want to measure is whether or not the sponsor, your prospect, showed up to the meeting. All 3 of these actions are huge wins for you as the sponsorship professional. Then during that meeting, a win is whether or not the prospect invites a sponsorship proposal from you and agrees to a follow-up meeting on the spot. Just send me a proposal is usually a smokescreen. If they ask you for a proposal, you want to get really clear on what they want to see in that proposal and then book your follow-up meeting on the spot with them to review it. That's your next base hit. If during the review process, they tell you that they're interested, you get a verbal yes, and then they explain what next steps look like, that's another base hit. Then before you can cross home plate, you need to get another meeting or another call on the books once those next steps have been realized. Maybe they have to look at budget. Maybe they have to have a conversation internally. Maybe they need to come up with some activation ideas or some ways to measure return on investment. You want to get that next meeting on the books to review any new questions they've had, to get their feedback, and to close the deal. Only then are you ready to cross home plate. So in sponsorship, a home run really isn't what you're after. It's about identifying the right steps and taking them in the right order. Once you know your conversion rates or how well you do at each of these steps, then it's easy for you to take the pressure off and just focus on one task at a time. But if instead you try to think of yourself as a home run hitter, you're going to get discouraged fast. Sponsorship is the long game. It's very unlikely you're going to get a one-call close. So take the pressure off and focus on the right actions in the right order. Now, if you want to dive in together and look a little closer at what those actions look like and how to measure success, I'm going to drop a link down below that goes to some free training I put together that walks you through the exact process from start to finish. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to tell us you want me to keep making these videos.